trip on one of the most infamous stretches of road in the country. Hundreds of miles through remote valley floors and distant mountain ranges make up the section of US 50 through Nevada known as the loneliest road in America, passing through ghost towns, historic mining communities, stunning state parks, and endless history. This is a trip for the books, so come along for the ride.
What's happening?
Morning.
Morning.
We had a good breakfast.
Great breakfast. We're here in Ely, Nevada, day 2 of our Loneliest Highway journey. We're at the Prospector Gambling Hall and Motel. Man, it was cold last night.
It was cold. I know we're doing the Loneliest Highway today, but I gotta think last night we were kind of on the loneliest highway.
Well, Teresa asked me last night, did we see any people? And it was like we were so glued to the bars, we couldn't see anything other than snow around us.
Are we crazy?
We are crazy. And this isn't the time of year you'd probably come do this, but we wanted to come show you what this place is like, and we'll get into some history a little bit later, but EUREKA is going to be our next spot.
So it is, EUREKA is the town?
Well, yes, and we'll stop there, but we're going to get down into Ely a little bit and do a little bit of history. This is a great area. There's a lot to do here, and we'll talk through that a little bit.
I talked to a guy from Montana this morning, and he said this snow, it hasn't been this good in several years. So he was really happy. He came down from Montana to work. Oh, he did that, yes. He shook my hand, he took his glove off, he said, thank you guys for riding and showing people America, and that made me feel really good, and I know you love that as well.
When you told me that, I said, that's a true man. Like, he took his glove off, he's a cowboy, and he's concerned about what's happening in the world and wants to make sure farmers and cowboys are staying intact.
So right there, he subscribed to our YouTube channel on his phone, so I was stoked.
Well, let's get this day started. It's not really going to be a long day, but we just want to take our time and get into some of these little towns and show you what they're all about.
And props to Josh in this cold, icy weather doing the camera work.
Look at him.
So let's do it.
Boom.
Wait, before you get started, I see
what?
Mr. G's over there, and I want to know if you have a business going on that we don't know about.
That's my dance hall.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, people come in and dance there.
So if you want to dance
cocktails
in Ely, Nevada, downtown, go to Mr. G's.
So Ely, Nevada, here we are. 1878, J.W. Long found gold in this area. He established a camp here. Subsequently and later, it became part of the Pony Express and the stagecoach stop. And then in 1906, it finally boomed when they found copper in the area.
Really? So this is a copper town?
This was a copper town, and it maybe got 4,000 people in it today. It had 10,000 at its peak. 1970, Kennecott Copper actually closed the mine down, and so there went the demise of the town.
I mean, there's a lot of really nice brick structures. You can definitely tell there's old buildings still standing here that were here for a long time. The road's pretty wide. It's pretty covered with kind of like silt and stuff from these storms we've been having.
Yep.
Mountains are covered in snow, but here we are to share this.
Well, and what's cool about this is this town really, strives and survives on tourism. They're close to the Great Basin. If you read Westway magazine that AAA sends out, this is what they anointed as one of the hidden gems. And you've got the Wheeler Peak up here. It's over 13,000 feet, which I didn't realize.
Oh, wow.
And you also have the Lehman Caves.
Right.
So they're closed right now, but when you're out here in the spring or the fall, you got to check those out.
Well, I mean, there's stickers and booklets out there. If you do this highway, Highway 50, you can say, I survived Highway 50, the loneliest highway in America. This is where we are actually starting off today, our journey over to FALLON, Nevada. And hey, who knows what we're going to see along the way?
Well, and I'd be remiss to not mention the indigenous people. The Shoshone were typically in this area. There's a reservation around here as well, but yeah, they were the first people through this area. And you've got everything. You've got in the spring and summer, you've got a marsh, so there's bird and fowl, so they could hunt. People come bird watch today. I mean, mountain bikes, side-by-sides, hiking. In the winter, you can snowmobile. I mean, it's got everything.
I mean, who would have thought that? We're on the eastern edge of Nevada. We're in the middle of the state height-wise, where we're going to go traversing across this land and find out some great stuff and share it with you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have good stuff on there.
Yeah, and lastly, we're in the Silver State, Nevada, in a copper town, right?
Battleborn.
What are we seeing next? Can you say it?
EUREKA!
Yeah, let's get going. Check out that little town.
Yes!
I ain't slept right since I last got high, and I just turned 30-day chill. Catches my eye every time I pass by the old house I used to get my fix. It turned me into a maniac, and it turned me inside out. But I can't stay away from the wrong side of town.
Man, it is nice out here, boys. Loving it. Feels like it's warmed up a bit, even though it's still in the 30s, but sheesh, look at that view out front.
Just amazing. And if you can see on my headset here, the loneliest road in America, that's where we're at, guys. We're out here. Last night was cold, but today has been spectacular, worth the ride in.
I am just loving it. You know, I love riding when we're warm, but we're in the winter, and that just gives you that great visuals. We're doing stuff that most people aren't doing, and I love that because we can share it with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of warmth, we might have been a little cold last night, coming in at 15 degrees, but right now, we're in our Dickies coveralls, got some warm boots on. You know, I might be rocking the 2-lane gloves. My hands are doing all right. It really is incredible to see that blue shadow off in the mountains, and just really stoked to enjoy some solitude out on the open road today.
Well, it's about 36 degrees. We're at about 6,600 feet above sea level, and we're dropping down into these plains. We're headed out to EUREKA. I love seeing this time of year and being able to ride in this. We did try a little bit of heated gear last night.
Yep.
But at 16 and 18 degrees, that was to no avail. I'd rather sit in this big old suit.
Right, well, you know, they haven't had this kind of snowfall here for a few years, so this is a real blessing.
I'll tell you what, I was talking to some lady outside of the hotel this morning, and she said last week or a couple days ago or something, it was down to -12. So despite being cold, I think we came at a good time.
Hey Lance, what did that security guard come up and say to us in front of the hotel there in Ely?
That was an interesting thing. He came up and said, hey, you guys gonna be here for a while? I'll clean up your bikes, wash your windshields. We were like, wow, we've never had that happen to us, but hey, small towns.
I thought he was gonna kick us out of there.
Right, right.
Instead, he decided to tell us he'd like to wash our bikes, so pretty damn cool.
Well, we have no idea what's for lunch yet, do we? But I'm getting hungry.
Well, let's find out. We'll get a move on, head up into these mountains ahead of us, and just enjoy the ride.
We'll see you all down the road.
Down the road. What do you think of that?
It's bomb. Philly cheesesteak and EUREKA. That's all I got.
You digging what you're eating there, Galen?
The Reuben, absolutely great.
On the menu, it says the best Philly you're ever going to have. Might be true. Said the same thing about that Reuben. It's not too bad. It's nice to come in here. It's a little bit warm. Get out of the snow for a little bit, but I think we got to hit the road after, huh?
We're like 3 hours behind. We've only gone 1 hour today, but we got some great footage.
We did.
I was told this is the best patty melt I'll ever have, and you know what I gotta say? It's really good. So hey.
So as fate happens on all of our trips, we find these little gems in these small towns. We're in EUREKA, Nevada. We're at Clementine's. It's a steakhouse. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're having lunch here. Had some great food, as you saw earlier on the camera. But the owner, Leslie, is sitting here with us. And tell us a little bit about your history. You grew up here, right?
Right, I moved here with my parents when I was 5 years old, and that was 1973.
Okay.
Yep. And we moved out here as farmers, and then it went on into mining and ranching and that whole bit.
So is EUREKA a mining town?
I would say it's a mining town. That's what it was established as. There was lots of ranching and lots of that kind of culture.
Right. And so I read something that someone here said EUREKA, and so they decided to name the town. Is that just a fable?
I don't know. It seems like it sounds pretty good, really. I mean, but there's quite a few Eurekas.
Sure,
You know,
gotcha.
that makes sense. I mean, boom or bust.
But it seems like in these mining towns, it's short-lived. It's like there was a boom. There was 10,000 people in this town in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, and then it dissipates.
Right.
And that's why you say boom or bust?
Boom or bust. You know, it can be really good, and then when it's slow, it's slow.
Right.
But nothing ever really changes. I graduated in 1985, and there were 20 kids. My kids graduated in 2006, and there was 18 kids, and 2 of them were mine.
Well, interestingly enough, this gentleman that's sitting next to Leslie, James, walked in. He saw the motorcycles. You two know each other as well.
Yep.
And you walked in and said, "What, James?"
Just asked, you guys did videos.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're like, "How do you know that?"
From my niece's husband, him and Ryan, run with you guys for a while.
So we call him the Counselor Shaw when we're with them. And they rode with us from St. George to Moab about a year and a half ago. And it's just such an amazing feeling to come in and see people that know us, and they know someone that knew us, and it's just...
It is a small world.
Yeah, and by the way, the Shaws, when Lance and I did our first drop, we were going up to Mount Charleston, and one of the Shaw brothers was there at the gas station and said, "Hey, I follow you in thrashing," and so they were kind of our first, if you will, not fan, but
I remember that
recognition.
So the Shaws,
ago.
yeah, we see them from the beginning till now, and then now they're friends. The Shaws are everywhere.
Well, we're going to head off to, I think we're going to do Austin next, and then Middlegate, and try to get into Fallon tonight. Any recommendations, or just wing it?
Good food at Middlegate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eat one of their patty melts. We make really good ones, but they can match me.
And
They're really good. They're very
Clementine's
good.
has great food. We filled up, we're full, and we're going to hit the road and have a lot of energy.
And then just lastly, why would people come to Clementine's? What's in this area that people can do, and why would they come eat here?
It's always entertaining.
Yes.
It really is. You're going to meet some cool people.
Anybody that knows Leslie, she's the best cook in the county. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Most entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for the time, and 3, 2, 1. See you
down the road.
Well, I'm starting to realize why they call it the loneliest highway in America, but I'll tell you what, the scenery is just unmatched out here. This is just miles and miles of snow. The sun's starting to go down.
Well, trust me, if this were the middle of the summer, it would feel a lot lonelier. As we made that bend, the sun was out, it was shining, it was glistening on the snow and the ice, and that whole valley just exploded with colors over the mountains. It was just spectacular.
Well, I'm feeling nice and warm right now in my gear. I'm glad I have it on. I'm loving the scenery. I'm loving the blue colors coming through the sky. The sun's poking through. We had a little bit of sunlight earlier, and that was really nice. So Everything we do happens for a reason, and the reason it's happening right now, I'm loving it.
Yep, definitely loving it.
So we're about 15 miles out from Austin. We're got caught up a little bit today in our time like we always do, so we're a little behind schedule. So probably just stop in Austin, give a quick little history lesson there, and then we're going to try to get on to Middlegate and then into FALLON tonight. So 14 miles out from Austin, and then we've got about another 100 miles to go.
Well, I can't wait to sit down and have a hot drink and a nice dinner tonight and reminisce of what a great day we had.
Yeah, and how crazy was it to meet Mike Shaw's relative in the diner back there? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was amazing. And then the owner of the diner was a funny lady. She had a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, well, let's work our way into Austin, and we'll talk to people when we get there.
Down the road.
You.
I think this is one of the coldest gas stops we've been at this year. It was like 38 degrees as we pulled in. Temperature's going from like 36 to 40. And when it gets to 40, you feel like it's warm all of a sudden.
It's not that cold. Why do you fake laugh at me again?
Because I like it when you think it's not cold.
It's not cold. We're trying to get to FALLON. We have a little history we'll give you in just a second after he pumps your gas.
He's got the camera, I got the gas.
This is what they call a living ghost town. So you can come up in this town and there's like 149 people here, right? But if you look back up the street, there's churches all over the place. There's Methodist church, Catholic church. For that many people, it's kind of crazy, but this comes down into town here. It's just a great little ride. You need to come down the 50 and see these little towns.
When you ride down this street, it's beautiful. I mean, the buildings are really cool. Everything about this whole town is really a neat town.
And my hands recovered since yesterday. Kinda. What are you doing over here? I thought we were about to leave. Putting on more layers?
Yeah, this jacket, actually, the windbreaker or rain jacket really helps keep that cold air off of you. But I got like 17 layers on. I'm like the Michelin Man.
He said it wasn't cold out and he's layering up.
But on a serious note, this area was really occupied by the Western Shoshone.
Yes.
Before, and then the Civil War started happening, and they're trying to get golds and silvers and try to, get that war over. And pretty crazy. People came in, the settlers, and our brethren got moved out.
I mean, there's so many mining towns around here, and when you get money, you get gold, you get mine, you get stuff greed comes in. When greed comes in, people get pushed around.
What's sad is the greed leaves and goes into another town, and then all of a sudden you're left to try to make it.
Right.
So, but kudos to these people, they made it.
Great little town, Come and see it. See it on the road. Look at that sunset on this chilly afternoon. Amazing. Snow-capped mountains, beautiful clouds, 2-lane highway.
I'm checking out that crease over to the right. The sun is glaring across it. Explosion of color and light. The snow-topped mountains. Can't get any better than this. Looks like it may be storming off here to the right, but I think we're going to bypass that.
Yeah, we're not going to get any of that.
Wow. You cannot beat that. The orange glow off in the distance after seeing some of that a little ways back in the shadows, just incredible.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Whoa. Makes it all worth it, fellas.
I told you, boys. Wait for it. Boom. Here we go again. Get ready. Boom.
Yo, look at that. Look at that. Amazing. professional cold weather riders.
Well, if you don't get out, you won't know.
Exactly.
We had some incredible weather today. It was cold, but it was beautiful.
Oh.
And it wasn't 16, but it was between 30 and 40. And I cannot believe the sunset tonight that we came into.
We got that reward, right?
Oh.
What I don't understand is when it gets like it's 30 and then it's like 33 and we're like, wow, it feels like it's warmer. Like our minds are...
Well, I think sometimes the temperature can cut through a little bit harder, and it's like, whoa, that's a cold 33.
We had a lot of snow, more snow than they've had in years, and I'm stoked about that. I mean, what a great day. We're here at the grid with this wonderful looking meal in front of us.
Yeah, unfortunately, we missed Middlegate. I mean, I thought it was right off the 50, I'm sure it is, but I thought it would be a town that we passed through.
But if you
I
sneeze,
think we had to turn left or right and go up into it. So
if you sneeze like that, it's gone.
Yeah, but that's how we do things. We do it our way.
Right.
And by the way, we got in here about 7 o'clock tonight. We have a great meal in front of us. Josh got some spaghetti. You got a little side salad. What'd you get?
Prime rib. Looking good, man.
I got some chowder, and I also got a little bit of they call it a taco salad with shredded pork, so can't wait to dig into that.
But the great thing about today is we actually went from Ely to Fallon. We did our part of the route, the 50, which is the loneliest highway in America, and we did it.
Well, I think the great thing about today was that, plus just being out in the elements, because you can't get until you get out and ride in this. You'll see it on the film here. But until you're in it,
right,
you don't know how spectacular it is. So get out and ride.
Yeah, and if you don't go, you're not going to see the things that happen when it's winter time. But hey, do it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's always a good thing to do. You eat a great meal, have a good thing, and we'll talk to you guys after dinner.
Well, let's eat.
Let's eat.
Well, what another great trip.
We did it.
We're not done. We have one more day, maybe a day and a half. We're here in Fallon. We're going to run to Death Valley tomorrow, but man, what a great day.
We survived the loneliest highway in America. We went from Ely to Fallon, snow, frosty cold temperatures, bikes ran good, we bundled up, and we made it.
Well, and really it's from Baker to Carson.
Right.
Carson City, but I mean, we have weather on both ends.
Yeah,
Look at our breath that's coming out.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it's supposed to snow over there, so we got to head south and get down into a place where we're not going to get dumped on.
Well, the fantastic thing is we set a goal and we achieved that goal like we do on most of our trips.
Right.
And we're going to go tomorrow and show you some more great stuff, but I hope you enjoyed the stuff you saw that we delivered to you guys, because it was great.
But I'll say this, you need to come check this place out. From Carson to Baker, they have a passport we talked about today. You can get stamped. If you get all those stamps in, they'll send you a certificate saying that you accomplished the loneliest highway. So it's worth a shot. I mean, there's great things to do around these little towns. Great breakfast, great lunch, great dinner, hiking, mountain biking. There's lakes. There's a ton of stuff to do.
And we saw some really cool towns that have been here for since 1800s?
Late 1800s, but even the indigenous people before that. But
yeah.
Still, I mean, you can come out here and vacation, right? It's
Absolutely.
not just about the old time town, but you've got great things to do. The Lehman Caves,
right.
The Great Basin National Park. I mean, there's a lot to do out here.
I mean, we wanted to do it in the wintertime, but people say you come in the summertime and you're going to have a lot of stuff that you can do, like go into some of the mine shafts and do some cool stuff. But we did it. We're glad. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will
see you down the road. But before you do that, I mean, I think probably the early spring and late fall.
Yes.
Get out of the heat. And with that, we'll see you down the road.